In this episode, we're tackling the Holland Track. This is Western Australia's most underrated tracks. It tested us, it tested the truck, and it tested the trailer. This is going to be one hell of an adventure. Well, we've just pulled up to start the Holland Track. In some spots it's going to be very tight, I expect. Don't quite know how we'll get on, how we'll go with the trailer as well. I'm hoping that we don't have to back out. Let's see how we get on. We'll give the big girl our best crack at it. With a bit of luck, we'll get out to the other end. So let's see how we go. .28 by 28 rule on the track, and I agree with the idea. Unfortunately, 28 pound on this in here, I have 4 very flat tyres. So I've just dropped them down to 60 pound from 90 to 60, and that's generally enough for this sort of a track. If it really gets gnarly, either soft boggy sand or rock, I might drop them down a little bit further. I'll knock a bit of air out of the trailer tyres as well, just to make that a little bit easier on the trailer. It's only running 45 in the trailer, so I'll knock them down to about 35, so I don't do any damage to tyres. We started at the Victoria Rock Road end, coming from Norseman. We weren't sure how the truck would handle the track because of the height and the width of the truck and trailer.
Where does the track actually go though?
Through here, around the back of us. On the main track, this bypass here for the tree and the big mud hole there, from where we're sitting, that looked like it was just as bad as what was ahead of us. So yeah, we can back up and come back in through here.
Yeah, keep coming. Bring it straight back.
We've just come up to the intersection here. We're still on the Holland Track, but up to the right is Thursday Rock that has a campsite up there, and originally that started out from being access to water by the timber cutters from the gold fields. So they were able to access water there for when they were working that area. But we're going to keep heading down the track here, and we'll make camp somewhere down the road. So far so good. A little bit tight in spots, but it's okay. We're just starting to get caught up with overhead branches because of the height of the truck. The track's not very wide. This is like trying to force a square peg into a round hole. It just doesn't fit. Well, I'm going to have to dig some of this sand out. Where the trailer wheels and that are, to drop the trailer back down this side here. That will give me enough room then to get past that tree.
Whoa, stop. Well, just by doing that, just moving it closer to the tree, you haven't really got on the tracks yet.
Right, I'll move back a bit, move the tracks back.
Yep, keep going, keep going, keep going. Yep, yep, yep. All good. All good. Looks like that worked. Oh, stop for a minute. Stop. It was going really well. It was going really well, but now it's touching the tree.
Come back and we'll replace those mats. back, but don't let that tyre come off that board there, mate.
Okay.
So when that tyre, like the center of the tyre is about there somewhere, just let me know and I'll put the tyres down there, the tracks down in front of that tyre again. Okay.
Okay. Stop.
It comes over these blocks there, sweetheart,
Yep.
and then just see how it goes there. The back end should turn that way. So hopefully.
As long as it doesn't knock into the tree on the other side.
At present it's clear.
Right.
I've just had a look at that and it's clear. So that's the main concern there. Let's see how we get on.
Okay, it's clear now. It's off the track. It's off the track.
This is one very demanding track.
I'm very glad I'm not in that track. But I can't look. Right over there.
Well, we've just had to clear a bit of a path, get rid of the dead wood laying on the ground. We're going to have to turn the truck around. This is going to be a bit of a job on its own. I've just spoken to a couple of fellows who waved a guy down who has been through the track here several times, and he said if we weren't towing the trailer, we should get through. But he said in the last 2 years, the track is just overgrown. There's so much new regrowth right beside the track, and he said it'd make it very, very difficult for us to get through, and probably do a lot of damage. We've already knocked around the truck and the trailer a little bit, and that's not the object of the exercise. So we're about 30 something Ks in to the Holland Track. We did think about taking the Jimny out and completing the track, but we haven't got our camping gear and with us and things like that there, so I have to lick my wounds and turn around and go back and find another way around to probably the likes of Wave Rock at Hyden. But turning around, that's that's going to be a job and a half. There is a spot just back over behind us here. That has been an area where some guys have been camping, so I should be able to use that. But even just getting to that, there is a bit of a job. See how we go. It's all sent to test us apparently. Give it a bash. One of the things that we've been finding very, very difficult is accurate information as to how long the actual Holland Track is. If you look at things like Wikipedia, it's 830 kilometres. If you look at some of the Shire maps and information, it's about 350 kilometres. So I guess it depends on where they're taking it from. One local source had told me that the western end of it, sort of southwestern end of it, had been dissected into different areas and bitumen for local roads. So there doesn't seem to be any real accurate information out there. And this is what we're finding with our truck. When we're looking for information on various tracks and roads that we want to take, it's really difficult to get accurate information. And we find that very difficult to deal with. When you've got a truck that's nearly 4 metres high and threading your way through some of these trees, it seems like it's 4 metres wide. It's definitely pinstriped at present, and that's not what it's all about. But anyway, we'll keep going, turn it around, and thank our lucky stars that we didn't do more damage, I guess. So I'll keep clearing.
Well, I'm driving the truck, inching it forward and backwards while Gary's trying to dig out the trailer. Hopefully this should work.
All right, we've sort of pack a few things up. We've come back to the start of the Holland Track. So a little bit with my tail between my legs. We got beaten by the track, but we're simply trying to avoid doing any more damage to the truck. We've got some major pinstriping to the truck and the trailer. A little bit of damage on the trailer, just fairly insignificant stuff, but it's damage all the same. And between that and, I'll say, damaging the track, damaging all the vegetation along there. So now what we'll do is head off down the road, pretty much the reverse of what we did the other day, and head across towards Hyden, making our way towards the west coast. So that's our effort, I guess you call it. And we put in a huge effort. We're both buggered. 2 days on the track. So 1 day in and 1 day back out. Big effort. So pretty much we covered, I didn't think we went that far. We did a bit over 30 kilometres in and a bit over 30 kilometres, obviously enough coming back out. It's just the vegetation, all the regrowth out there and the overhanging limbs that just make it so difficult for something that's as big as this. And as I said earlier, when you're trying to navigate your way through the trees, what might be 2.5 metres wide looks like it's 4 metres wide when you attack the tracks. So not going to do any more damage. So if you enjoyed the contents of our hard labour on this track, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. We really appreciate you guys that are subscribed, and thank you very much for watching the videos. Cheers for now, guys.